If you ever wanted to stay in a hotel that looks like it's straight out of a 1940s sci-fi movie with flying saucers parked outside, and also has shades of Alice in Wonderland, the Days of Flower Power, La Belle Epoque, and some of the strangest ice cream you've ever tasted, and it also has its own craft beer bar. And I'll take you to a hotel in Bangkok that has all that and more. From the moment the porter greeted us at the hotel, something felt a little unusual, and it didn't stop there. I hadn't expected the hotel to look so plush, but when I saw the genuine marble staircase, well, that was something you don't see every day, and the teardrop chandelier hanging overhead really complemented it. Then I spotted this. What is it, you might ask? Well, believe it or not, it was the base of the reception desk. Take note of this ramp, especially if you're wearing heels or slippy shoes or you're liable to fall. Still, there's a shop next door that you can walk through if you don't feel safe. We'd got there around noon so we could grab some lunch, but we also knew it's quite common in hotels in Bangkok to be able to check into the room early, which is what happened. Walking down these long corridors in hotels always reminds me of Jack Nicholson in The Shining for some reason. Now, I was expecting the usual kind of room for a hotel like this, but this room had something that was not overstated, but for me it really made a difference. No, it wasn't this mythical supposed Thai creature with a rabbit's head, bird's body and deer's antlers, which we both loved by the way. It was the decor. The wallpaper was designed to represent mythical Thai creatures, but along with La Belle Epoque mauve lampshades and pillars, it made the room feel kinda hippie and dreamlike. The beds were really comfy, but as beautiful as the bath looked, if you're an old fart like me, you do not want to get in, or there's a good chance you won't be able to get back out again. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. Nice view from our room. I like the colourful umbrellas, but my stomach kept saying, "Sod the view, I want me lunch." So off we went to the Nova Kitchen, open from 6:30 AM till 10 PM. But on the way we spotted a sign for the craft beer bar and tapas, and I think we'd have both preferred to have a couple of cold beers instead, what with the temperature being 38 degrees centigrade, but it wasn't open. Bugger. Still, the Nova Kitchen looked nice, small, intimate, only seats 34 people, and still carrying over the Alice in Wonderland hippie vibe. After we'd ordered, I went out to have a quick look around while we waited for our meal. And when I got back, the food had just been served, and as usual I had pork belly and sweet gravy, and the missus had crab meat with crab eggs, pork scratchings and rice, and then all the dippy poo was there. After lunch we decided to have a walk down to the riverside, but the heat was unbearable and too much for me, and even though my wife was born and raised in Thailand, even she couldn't handle it. But as we rushed back to our room, I couldn't help but stop and look at the Alice in Wonderland decorative type flowers. We spent a few hours cooling down in our room, then I had a bath, which I couldn't get out of. Then we were off to Sheraton Grand Riverside, just a 10-minute taxi ride from our hotel, to check out their new Western fusion Thai restaurant. Siam Yacht Club. But first, the 2-for-1 happy hour by the river, which I took full advantage of, starting with a couple of Negronis, which without the ice were about the size of a double shot glass. So I switched to Long Island tea, and that did the trick. And as the sun went down and the booze kicked in, I got chatting to a couple of tourists.
Hi.
So here I am with Mary and Martin from Bristol in England, and they've been in Bangkok for how long?
2 days.
2 days in Bangkok. And what do you think of Bangkok?
Fantastic.
Hot.
Very friendly, very hot. We've had fantastic time in the tuk-tuks. That was an experience.
You enjoyed the tuk-tuk?
Yeah, we've done it 3 times now in 2 days.
Really?
Everywhere but tuk-tuk.
Really?
Yeah. Loved it.
Did you get ripped off?
Probably.
But it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, you loved it.
It was still cheap.
Yeah. So Martin, any comments?
It was a brilliant experience. Absolutely loved it. Better than what I thought was going to be here.
Yeah.
And the hotel's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Would you come back?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, still things I want to see. Definitely come back.
Okay. What are the things that you still want to see?
A floating market.
Uh-huh.
Didn't get there. The gold Buddha.
Oh yeah.
Didn't get there either. We went
Did
to
you
the
go?
palace.
Did you get to Wat Arun?
No,
You didn't get there.
no. Went up the river up to the palace.
Yeah.
We've done a bit of shopping.
Did you actually go in the palace?
Yes, we did.
Did you see the Emerald Buddha?
Yes.
And you thought it was going to be huge,
I
and when you
did.
got there, it was like this big.
Yeah. It was so hot there that we weren't there
Yeah.
that long.
No,
It
it
was
wasn't.
unbearably hot.
It was nice to meet Mary and Martin, but we were running late for our reservation at the Yacht Club. The restaurant looked really nice, and I was pleased to see the open kitchen and even some of the dishes that were being prepared, courtesy of the manager who used to work at Disneyland in Paris. And this is Shin Pei,
Nice to meet you.
all the way from Disneyland.
Disneyland, exactly.
Used to be Mickey Mouse.
Exactly.
And his parents are Japanese from, where was it?
Kyoto.
From Kyoto, yeah. Where's your favourite place in Asia?
Bangkok. Of course.
Now, Shinpei had recommended the Fan de Clare oysters for starters, which in the past I'd never been very impressed with, usually being small and lacking crunch, but I took his advice and I have to say they looked good, but were they? Those are the best Fan de Clare oysters I've had in Thailand ever. They were meaty, lots of fat, lots of juice. Very enjoyable. Should have had 6, but I wasn't too sure. Yeah, delicious. And now I've got a Angus Australian 300 gram ribeye coming my way. Now I don't usually go for ribeye, but Shinpei recommended it. Half of that will probably end up on a sandwich in the morning. But it didn't. It certainly looked inviting. You've got to see that. That is so tender. And Shinpei was dead right. It was perfect. I even enjoyed it so much I ate the whole thing. And whilst I went full on carnivore, the wife went for her usual seafood.
Angel hair pasta type with lobster sauce and lobster.
When we got back to the hotel, we decided to have a nightcap at the craft beer bar. So we got IPA, pale ale and stout. And they've just let us taste it first. And it was bloody lovely. So we drank our beer by the riverside, which looks great at night, and when we got back to our room we found locally made chocolates from up country on our pillows, which to be honest we weren't expecting to be any good, but we decided to give them a try anyway. Locally produced cereal milk chocolate. Quite good. Not too oily, crunchy. Not too sweet. I was expecting it to be very sweet being locally produced, but that's very good chocolate. Really? You?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought it came from Thailand if I hadn't been told. Oh, looks like Karamak. Can you see? It's caramel chocolate. Tastes like Karamak. If you don't know what Karamak is, it was something we had when we were kids, caramel white chocolate if you like, but it's changed and this is more like the real thing from before. Not too sweet, very creamy, very caramelly flavoured, and just the right amount of salt and just the right amount of sugar. Surprising, very surprising, excellent. When we got up the next morning, our cuddly toy had tried to do a runner, so I went out in my pyjamas, provided by the hotel, and gave her some birdseed and a carrot and let her lick me chocolate wrapper. Then it was time for breakfast, which we had at the Nova Sala attached to the Nova kitchen, and because it only seats 21 people, it was very cosy and had that hippie vibe again. It's also a great place to enjoy the view whilst you eat. Asiatique is a very popular place for tourists and locals alike, and as we were quite close to it, I really thought we should go take a look. But even though we read it opened at 11 AM, we found out when we were there that most of the shops don't open till 3 PM. So be warned, what you read in the brochures is often not what's really happening, so make sure you check first. Still, Big C's supermarket was open and we needed a few non-touristy things, but looking around we found a few things visitors to Bangkok would find interesting. These are what you call bloody huge durians, are bigger than my head, as you could probably see. Japanese oysters are really good, but if you think that size matters, then check out the Thai oysters. They're huge, so big in fact that you have to eat them with a knife and fork, and they're great too. Back at the hotel, instead of lunch, we decided to go to the Japanese ice cream shop Rin Taro, where you could get a big portion of ice cream on a small spoon for 5 baht a pop. We tried 5. We tried the Sakura cherry blossom, which had a slight hint of cherry blossom, cassis orange, which was actually sorbet, not a fan, camembert with mixed nuts. I prefer my camembert on a warm piece of crusty bread, but it was worth trying. Tea with matcha. Sorry, ice cold chocolate tea, not for me, thank you. Then we had yuzu milk with orange. Nah, it was okay but very bland. But the strangest one for me was the tomato yogurt with macaron. I didn't even bother to try that one. So we settled for banana butter with caramel and almond, as well as black sugar, which was mostly just caramel, as you might have imagined, and they were great. So we're not actually going to go here because the prices are a bit over the top and we've got no discount. Example, lobster stir fried with chili, salt, garlic, 3,200, and then you've got rainbow lobster half and half. Now before we left, I just had time to climb the beautiful marble staircase and see what was upstairs, and on the way up I met some people wearing traditional Thai costumes, which the hotel provides for free. Just go to the reception and they'll let you know when they're available. There are several other places in the hotel we just didn't have time to go and see. The rooftop cigar and whiskey bar, Ray, a speakeasy style cocktail bar with a Japanese touch, and even though I wanted to get some of the chocolate we'd had last night at the Can Vela shop, I didn't get a chance as our taxi had arrived and it was time to go. Still, we had a lovely time at Salil Hotel. If you have any questions about the hotel, its location, the prices, anything at all, just send me a message in the comments below and I will reply. Hope you can join us on the next one. Happy travels.